Welcome to the Vicis Interimo 30 Minutes to Kill podcast.
You are listening to the Vicis Interimo show, 30 minutes to kill, more or less. The awesome podcast with the unpronounceable name. We are a horror movie review podcast featuring horror, suspense, and psychological thrillers. You can find us on iTunes, Stitchers, Podomatic, just about anywhere. Type in VICISINTERIMO. I am your host, Michael Matt Saxon Jones, here with my lovely wife and co-host, Lori.
That would be me.
There you go.
There's a big pause there.
Well, there won't be by the time I'm done with it. Remember, you can fix everything in post. We generally have 4 segments to our show. Laid to Rest, where we tie up loose ends from previous shows. A short review of our featured movie, The Nun, from 2018. Garbage In, Garbage Out, where we talk about shows, books, TV, movie, anything we may have caught over the last week or so. This time there's really only one thing, and I think it's Altered Carbon. So if Big Al V, one of our patrons, is still listening to us, he should appreciate that. Maybe he won't. It depends. We'll get to that in a minute, though. And generally, we end with a crawling chaos, a topic or a factoid that we've never talked about before on the show. Sometimes silly, sometimes serious, most always chaotic. Unless, of course, I erased all of the topic off the phone.
Well, that was... You deleted my short topic.
That was a short topic you had planned. Okay.
Because I told you last week that I had some short topic ideas.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, that was going to be one of them.
You didn't tell me before I hit that delete button, so...
You never hit the delete button. Why are you going to hit it today after 15 years of not hitting the delete button?
I don't know. I do not know. So anyhow, getting back on track and back to the show, this is episode number 343, and
it's a lot.
Let's get in with our
Laid to Rest.
Yes, Laid to Rest. So anything to lay to rest as far as Marrowbone? The Secret of Marrowbone?
I don't think so.
No, we summed up what we had to say about that movie. I already forbid you from talking about any more of Summer of '84.
I was just going to say I could probably talk some more about Summer of '84.
The only other thing we were going to address about the Summer of '84 was what? The fact that they had addressed in an article or on
it was, people were talking
Twitter?
About it on, is that where you saw it?
I believe it was, yeah.
There was a whole debate on there as to whether or not
the
kids
phrase,
were saying sick in
the Summer of '84. Yes. And it was used early '82, I think, was one of the first.
Well, I looked it up. That's when it was created, I guess. Is that the right word?
I don't know.
But I did not hear that until way later. So, yeah, they were debating that. I don't know.
Maybe they just used that in Canada and took a while for it to reach us here.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe something finally started there and took a long time to get here.
Anyhow, enough about that. Any other things to tie up regards Stranger Things, then?
I don't think so.
All right, then.
Just that everyone's waiting for season 3.
Indeed.
Which it said 2019, so...
Yeah, I'm not overly happy about having to wait that long.
And I mean, 2019 spring, 2019 fall?
Good
I
question.
have no idea.
Indeed. So let's just get right into, and this is sort of an on-the-road episode, or at least we just saw the movie in the theater this morning, and so we call this, I guess, an on-the-road episode. But let's get into talking about The Nun.
I had a series of visions when I was younger. And after each one ended, the same thought would be stuck in my head.
What did you see?
I saw a nun. Word of my visions reached the church, and I was asked to accompany a priest to an abbey in Romania.
The Abbey has a long history.
Violet.
Not all good.
What?
She need him down. Callahan's here.
Mother, pray for us. Now,
Sister, please. This way.
hello.
Did you have a synopsis first or no?
I do have a synopsis. A priest with a haunted past and a novice on the threshold of her final vows are sent by the Vatican to investigate the death of a young nun in Romania and confront a malevolent force
Leveling.
in the form of a demonic nun.
Okay.
I think I read that horribly. I should probably
That's
do it
super
again.
accurate.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good synopsis for once. That
Okay.
summed it all up.
So, before we hear what we had to say after immediately watching the movie,
Yeah.
anything that you want to mention here? I mean, for those that have listened to the podcast, of course, they're going to know this, but most people, if they weren't familiar, we've seen The Nun. We've had glimpses of The Nun in the Conjuring movies before this.
Right.
In this, it's shown that the Warrens have had dealings with this entity
Yes.
at some point. It's been hinted at and alluded to, but we never really knew what the backstory on that is. So
Right.
this kind of is intended to fill that in.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a prequel to give you the backstory of this demon, because I'm assuming there's another Conjuring movie coming around the corner that's going to
Well, I
go
certainly
back
hope so.
into dealing with it.
Okay, in modern times, perhaps. So, anyhow, anything else before we hear what we have to say after watching The Nun?
I don't think so.
All right, The Nun.
The Nun.
What did you think about it?
I liked it.
I liked it also, but I do have a few issues with it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, at this point, we've already heard the trailer. We've watched I'm sure you will have. Maybe you'll have read the synopsis by now, or maybe I will have.
Obviously, we're on the road.
It's on the road as far as this goes.
We just got in the car, and it's hotter than blazes in here.
Indeed. So,
I'm not liking it.
yeah. So, The Nun. What's your initial thoughts, feelings?
Entertaining adventure
Yeah. So.
with the spooky element.
Yeah. Okay. I
I'm done.
definitely enjoyed it,
Yeah.
but it did seem to have a little bit of an identity crisis to me, as far as, because I wanted to go into it like The Conjuring. With these, like, they felt real.
Right.
This one felt entertaining.
Well, that's why I had to call it more of like an adventure, or I don't know.
Because
I mean, it had some good scary stuff in it,
Sure.
but expected kind of scary stuff. It's hard to scare me though, so I'm maybe not a good judge of that.
Yeah, because this was your intermediate horror film here, or
Yes,
scary
this would
film.
be super fun to let the kids watch.
Anybody
depending
younger
on
than
your
us is kids.
depending
Yeah.
on your kids, of course.
Because it was rated R for intense.
It was?
Yeah, that was actually
What?
rated R. Yeah.
Okay, wait. We need to stop and think then. Cussing? No, not really.
A little here and there.
No
whatever.
cussing, no sex. Yeah, but not rated R cussing.
No.
And there wasn't a lot of cussing.
Okay.
And they were all religious people. So it would have been rated R for any kind of
Intense.
gore or... Yeah, and I didn't see... I mean, there was blood. Oh, well, I guess some of the faces, the dead bodies, and, like, they looked kind of gruesome.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm a little surprised it was rated R.
So...
Huh.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard R trailer, you know.
Trailer?
Yeah, I'm used to seeing it on the front
Red
of the trailers
trailer.
or whatever when it's a red trailer,
Red
band
band.
trailer, yeah. So the things that took it out of it was the Hollywood formulaic aspects of it.
Yeah.
You know, the things that, Frenchie seemed to be in there for comic relief, and
Right.
we seem to have some of the scares were formulaic, and in that, something's going. If you've seen these movies before,
Yeah.
to watch the backgrounds, to watch the shadows,
Right.
to. I did appreciate that some of the things weren't there necessarily to call your attention to them.
Okay.
If you were just watching the scene, I think that was one of the first things I'm not sure whether it was Insidious or the Conjuring now, but where the camera was just panning through the room and like there was just something in the background.
Something
and it's
that
like,
doesn't belong there.
Oh, wait, what did I just see? And the same thing happened with the character on screen. I'm not sure
Right.
if you remember which one I'm talking about, though, with the little boy in the hall. Anyhow, so in this movie, there were scenes like that. There were scenes where you knew to look in the background.
Right.
There were scenes here, too.
Yeah, it was definitely in the spirit of all of those films.
Sure, by the same producers and people that worked on it and stuff. But that's, I guess, the parts that I'm calling formulaic or whatever. It didn't feel natural and organic the way that some of the other films
Just
did.
a little too Hollywood, huh?
Yeah, well, it felt like scenes. It felt like we went from this scene to this scene to this scene.
Right.
Not throughout, though. Like, I want to say half the film was that way and half of it wasn't. Half of it felt, like I was getting an information dump here and there. Like, what is this and why are the bells on the graves and so on.
Well, I think this movie is very much for the general public. It's here for Halloween. It's October.
Right.
It's for everybody to go see and enjoy, and I think that's absolutely what it's there for.
Okay.
And it's been in the theater for a lot of weeks now. It's doing really well at the box office.
That's still
So
good,
there you go.
Yeah.
So I think the things that I don't know if they're necessarily bothering you, but the things that you're pointing
just
out
took a little bit out.
Yeah.
Took me out of the movie experience.
But okay.
I mean, made me realize I was watching a movie. If that makes
Okay.
more sense, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
So those are my complaints. I still enjoyed it?
Right.
Absolutely. I would rate it at maybe a 3.
Okay.
I liked it.
I'm gonna go with a 4.
Okay.
I was thinking it was more just by the trailers and the how the nun looks in the trailers and the posters and stuff. I thought it was going to be just more of a creature scare movie, more of a formulaic movie in that way.
Okay.
So it gave me a lot more than what I was expecting. So I have to say I really liked it.
Okay. That's good then.
Because I was not expecting I knew
weren't
Vera
expecting
Farmiga wasn't. I knew it wasn't going to be a typical Conjuring.
It wasn't going to be
movie.
about the Warrens. It wasn't going to be
right.
Okay.
Yeah, because if Vera Farmiga's in it, it's automatic. I am going to love it, and I know I'm going to love it, and I can rate it before I even see it, which isn't fair.
Which is not fair at all.
Wow, you could see the Hollywood sign today. It's so clear.
Must be nice. Yes.
And we are
nice out.
far away from. We're about 30 miles from it.
Yeah.
And there it is. Anyway. So yeah, I was afraid it was going to be just a cheesy monster movie kind of movie, for a lack of better term, monster movie. You know, a boogeyman, something scary's coming out, the nun's going to get us, the Slender Man, the whatever.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be more like that kind of a formulaic thing. So I liked the location, the setting, I liked the story, I liked the history of the castle that was turned abbey.
Right.
You know, there was other things to appreciate.
I like those too, but if I was going to enjoy it on that level, I would have liked a clearer narrative.
Right.
So we have here a priest and a nun. I don't know what the technical term is, but she hadn't taken her vows yet.
Right.
And it was obvious to everybody that she hadn't taken her vows. But so we have them, and then we have the local who's found a dead body there to investigate. So they are investigating, but you didn't know what you were dealing with and stuff,
right.
So you found out the same, or about the same time they did.
You found out later, yeah, with the characters.
Yeah, so...
Oh, that's a good thing, though.
But then there were little things that, like I said, this is my fault, maybe, that distracted me and pulled me out. But, it's like the nuns are wearing makeup. And just, I don't know.
Were they?
Well...
Were they?
Yeah, I think so.
Were they?
It didn't matter because it was enough to
whether
take
or
me
not
out.
they were or weren't doesn't matter, because you stopped and you were like, is she wearing lipstick or something?
Exactly. So I'm asking you questions.
Well, that's where it's a little more Hollywood than... Right. But that being said, though, I mean, it was a pretty gritty set. You know, we're going to Costco,
It was,
right?
yes, okay. I'm aware. I don't know where to turn anymore.
You could either turn here and then we could cut through the old parking lot, or you could go to Lameda.
Okay.
I would go this way if you can. Let's slow down and let this...
Oh,
are you signaling? Well, it's because you're not signaling.
All right.
No one's ever going to let you in.
Okay.
You're terrible at this.
Whatever. You're making it up as we go. So anyhow, back to the movie.
So now we're not turning here?
I'm going to go to the next one.
Oh, that's so much further. Okay, so yeah, I knew I wasn't expecting, I don't know. Now we're just being redundant.
Okay.
Do you have anything new to say? How'd you like the acting?
Acting was great. And I was starting to say that you almost got to see Vera Farmiga, right? You got to see
we got to see her for a second.
I meant you got to see another Farmiga in there.
Yes.
Also acting, and that's why I'm like, is she going to grow up to be Vera Farmiga? No.
She sure looks. She's going to.
She's
they're her family. There's 3 actors now, and there may be more, but they all have very strong family resemblance.
Yeah.
Which is nice because Vera Farmiga is beautiful.
Yes, indeed. Oh, and that idiot didn't even turn. He cut me off from the thing, and then he went straight. Yeah.
I know.
Okay. Anyhow.
I knew that was going to happen.
So.
You just
back to the
don't
movie
have any
again.
patience.
No, I have no patience at all. You have even less stuff. So anyhow.
Well, because I'm really great at shortcuts, and I'm really great at making things happen on the road, and but you dilly-dally, and then you just roll past your opportunities.
My driving instructor told me a long time ago.
Oh, no.
Very long time ago. You can always go back. Don't do anything stupid in the car, because you can go back.
I don't do stupid stuff in the car, though.
How many accidents?
I haven't caused any accidents.
I didn't say you caused any.
Okay, how many times have I been hit by somebody that didn't know how to drive? They were probably like you. They were probably trying to turn around and go back. Anyway, so the acting was
great.
Yes.
The sets were great.
Yes.
That's
what it was. That's what we were talking about when we were trying to make that turn back there and got derailed. You noticing the makeup and that kind of stuff, and okay, that's where it was kind of off, but it was a little funny because I was like, that's not real super accurate. But the set designers get an award because everything looked appropriately dirty, old, cobwebs, dusty, you know.
Middle Ages, he said. Welcome to the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like when we got to our sets, our abbey, the castle, and so on.
Some of the scenes where the fog was on the floor was very pedestrian, I guess.
Okay.
So that was a little funny. Every time we see that kind of fog, you know, we always say,
it's our
Bill?
wedding.
Yeah, because we had a fog machine at our wedding. So it was just that kind of, you know, a foot or two of fog just at the floor.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's something you would see in a stage performance or something.
All right.
But yeah, I don't have any complaints because it went above and beyond what I was expecting.
Okay, that's good. My critique or complaints would be it did have some good ones in there.
Though the thing that scared me the most was just the surround sound and a crow going back and me jumping out of my skin. None of the scary parts scared me. Jeez. Startling sounds, you know.
Yeah, well, I was going to say very much about the sound, and one of the reasons that I would want to see this in the theater is because the soundtrack and the use of sound was good in there. Not exceptional, not really totally stand out like it's not awesome.
Well, there was a lot of good
subtlety.
Yeah, and there were a lot of those good kind of creepy special effects. There was one scene in particular where I was thinking it and you leaned over and you said it. You know, it's the nurse scene in...
Oh, it's the nurse scene in Silent Hill.
Yeah, that, you know, those quick little jerky movements with the little cracky sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, there was a number of scenes that had that kind of thing going on, so the way that the sound worked with the surround sound was really nice. I don't know if you could totally enjoy the sounds at home unless you have your home theater set up.
Which we don't, so...
No, we don't.
Okay, so...
We're going to be listening to it out of our lame television. At least it's in stereo. It's not mono.
Yeah, exactly. It's not black and white set in mono or
right.
anything. Yeah, we're not watching it on a 2-inch screen.
Yeah.
Or anyhow.
But, okay, so the acting and how it looked, and we liked the sound effects, and... What else did you like about it? Did you like the story? Okay, this guy, hello. This is why you need to signal ahead of time, sweetie.
I did. I had my signal on.
Not before that guy did.
Well,
he was all of a sudden he was between us and the curb.
Not even.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
How many accidents have you had?
0. So there you go.
It's because you drive like an old man and everyone stays away from you.
That's fine too. Anyhow, I guess we should cut this off, and yes, I see plenty of parking up there. We should cut this off and get back to the podcast.
We're done talking about the movie?
For now, because we're going to go into Costco and do some shopping.
Well, I'm not going to talk about the movie anymore. What do we have to say? We said everything we liked?
I think so. I think you gave it a 4 and I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
And
I can't think of anything that I didn't like.
Wow, okay.
It doesn't make it a 5, though, because my 5s have to have that special something that touches me personally, which this didn't have.
So,
but I can't tell you anything I didn't like.
Are you going to remember this in 6 months? Other than the general...
Ask me in 6 months.
Oh, okay,
But right now I want to say yes.
Okay.
I think that I would.
You might.
I think I like creepy old castles, and I like stories, and...
Yeah.
I like demons and things.
Okay.
So...
Maybe so.
I think I'd remember it.
All right. I was going to say something about making our listenership...
Can you open your door, please, before I just suddenly do a spontaneous human combustion demonstration for you?
That'd be something. I've got the camera. I can document it.
Oh my gosh, you do? Yeah, it takes video.
Before we lose complete control, I was going to say something about our podcast recruiting members one at a time because I handed out the card at the theater. I didn't get that guy's name. We should have...
Someone who works there, yeah.
Exactly.
I feel sad for him if he sat through this podcast. Though there's more to come. We're only halfway through. There's more to come.
Let's get out of here and do some shopping.
Okay, but really quick, would you recommend the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
To anyone?
To anyone.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dark, and don't see it if you're a little bit sleepy, because the dark settings will definitely give you pause to fall asleep. Possibly.
I didn't fall asleep.
No, you didn't. But anyhow.
I said I felt like I could fall asleep. It had nothing to do with the movie, though.
No, it was just the
I need
dark
sleep. Our
side.
phone needs to quit ringing at 7 o'clock in the morning.
It's another story for another time. We'll get back to this later.
Yeah.
Anything you have to add after having talked about the nun?
I don't think so. About a half hour ago, I was thinking that I had something, but I think it has...
But you didn't write it down.
It may be... No, I didn't write it down, and it must not bother me enough to mention. Notice I said bother me, because I couldn't find anything wrong.
Right. Okay.
I think the things you didn't like about it, I just forgave it.
Okay.
All those things. But I think maybe... as far as the story, there was maybe, I don't know, some little inconsistencies or something.
Those were like the things that, like I said, it felt like jumping from scene to scene. That was my issue.
I don't want to do spoilers or anything.
No, we don't want to do spoilers. And we talked. Well, I'm sorry, I was just going to interject really quick that it was Thaisa. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. It's Vera Farmiga's younger sister that was in the movie.
Okay. How many sisters does she have?
I don't know. You put me on the spot now. I have no idea.
You've got that there. Because what was the name of her sister that was in American Horror Story?
I don't know.
Well, look it up real quick. Throw in a musical interlude.
Okay.
I don't remember what we said before that, but okay, so coming back from our musical interlude, okay, so she is one and the same. She is Vera Farmiga's younger sister, who is also in American Horror Story.
Okay.
But you know that because you just looked it up.
Yeah, I know that.
You're all acting like, oh, okay.
I'm surprised. Well,
I'm surprised because she looked so different in that she looked just like Vera she looked like Vera's child or something. She could be her daughter. But we knew they looked alike when she was in American Horror Story. We were not surprised to find out they were sisters. But what's interesting is first time we saw her in American Horror Story was years ago.
Right.
This was just now, and she looks 10 years younger than she did. I mean, she looked like she was 12 in this.
Okay.
But okay, so she's Vera's younger sister.
Yes, all right.
Her name is Taissa, so it's either Thaisa or, I don't know, maybe I'm slaughtering it. But, okay, so there's only two.
All right, so...
There should be dozens of Farmigas, if they're all as lovely as those two.
All right. Well, on that note, let's get on with the rest of the show. The rest of the show really consists then of talking about altered carbon. Now, I mentioned earlier that Alv is one of our patrons. We have 3 patrons at this time. We have at Lonely Bob, Big Alv, and Goldafish. Yes.
Our hero, Goldafish.
Yes, indeed. More on that in the weeks to come. Anyhow, where's my point? My point was...
just slip in and say that she had all of our lost episodes.
Yes.
And she got them back to us.
Yes.
We no longer have
awesome.
Lost episodes.
8 years. Well, I may have lost something else in the meantime. But anyhow. The
You gonna
point
bug her
is,
for him?
no, I'm not.
We're gonna be like, hi, so we lost an episode. Do you think
Yes.
you could,
We need an archiver for our show officially, and it turns out
she's our
Goldfish
unofficial.
is.
Yes, so it is so much appreciated. But anyway, sorry, I derailed you.
You certainly did, because I'm talking about Al. Al
Yes.
had mentioned some time ago when
Hi, Al.
when he got his patron party pack. Anyhow, that he wanted to hear what we had to say about Altered Carbon. So that's been what we watched this past week. So we did the entire season, first season of Altered Carbon. What did you think about it?
What did you think about it?
Well, I'm going to
You
say
always make me go first.
because I loved it. I loved it, and I was going to say, you know, that box that you have, everybody likes to check. You know, you've got married, you've got single, and you've got it's complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I check off for this one. It's complicated. Because while I said I love the show,
Yeah.
I didn't like parts of it. No, I was going to say I loved it and I hated it, but hate's too strong. I was actually indifferent to parts of it. Which,
Okay.
So
Same here.
here's the deal. I love the setting. I
Yes.
love the story. I love the potential of the
The
story.
concept, the main idea, the idea
Yes.
of what's going on in this world.
So the story itself,
Yes.
the show, the season of Altered Carbon, for me, could have been either longer or shorter.
Okay.
If it was shorter, if we had entered the world of Altered Carbon, which is a cyberpunk world, which is, you know, we spread out to numerous worlds, there's different worlds, and it's, you know, high-tech, low-life, you've got all the stuff that you would see, like in Blade Runner.
Right.
So you've got that. You've got the ultra-wealthy, the Meths, the Methuselahs, those that have lived for hundreds of years because of this alien technology that's been incorporated, and we've found a way to transfer a human consciousness, basically back it up,
Right.
and transfer it into another sleeve, which is just another body, which may be organic or inorganic, as the case may be. Anyhow, we've got this wonderful world, but somebody is brought back to solve a murder mystery. For me, that could have been just a couple of episodes in the
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
or it could have been dragged out over numerous seasons if we had been allowed to participate in more in what was going on. Now, this
Right.
could completely be me, and I might have just been completely overwhelmed, because that is one of the things about this.
Yeah.
I was so enthralled with what I was watching that, like, for the first episode, I completely got distracted by the fact that people were put into different bodies.
Okay.
Now, I've talked a bunch about this. Do you have anything to say, or should I just keep rolling at this point?
Keep going.
All right.
My thoughts on it are very simple, so.
Okay. I had a friend of mine that at the age of 16 went through a car window. I mean, he had an accident and went through the windshield of the car. He had surgery, reconstructive surgery. Handsome guy, as far as I know. I mean, he looked fine to me. He didn't have scars and so on. But the point was that when he looked in the mirror years later, 5-6 years later, when I met him, he was still grappling with the fact that he didn't recognize who he looked in the mirror, or he recognized, but he looked different. He knew that he looked differently before.
He knew that wasn't his face.
So, seeing this show and seeing somebody just slammed into a body and stuff like that, and they address it a little bit, but like that is just like, it just drew my attention in so much that like I had to stop and go, okay, look, I'm concentrating on the wrong thing. I should be paying attention to the show. If I should be listening, I should be whatever. The second episode, they introduced AIs. I mean, we all know what AIs are, artificial intelligence and so on. But I found myself focusing on the AIs, and the AIs have a little group. They meet, they talk to each other, they discuss the humans that they serve or don't serve, as the case may be, their feelings towards them, and it's just completely fixated on that idea then of And to paraphrase something from Stephen King, it's the inability of an organic brain to comprehend an inorganic brain. It's hard to think about. Like, I got distracted and just off on tangents in my own head about it. And again, like, I found myself like, oh, wait, I got to pay attention to the show. I don't think I lost anything, but you know what I mean? It's just like there were so many cool concepts, so many things that I really enjoyed and liked.
Well, the show's story wasn't maybe interesting enough to hold your attention.
So that's what I'm saying, that
yes,
if it could have been an episode or two, I could have enjoyed it. Or if we were introduced to the world more slowly, and we kind of knew what to expect. It only ran 10 episodes. Like I said, we did the whole thing. We did an episode or two a night for the past week. And so if it played out like the early seasons of Sherlock and stuff, where all your clues were there, and if you were paying attention, you could get them.
Right.
But I was so baffled by the world. Not baffled. Baffled isn't quite the right word. But I was so enthralled with everything else that was going on and wanted to know about that.
But it was fine. You didn't miss anything, and it didn't take away from ultimately the story.
No, I mean, I got the whole story as it unfolded or whatever, but I just, like I said, I loved it, and
Yeah.
Couldn't even say I hated it.
I didn't think it was very good most of the time. It got the story and everything, because there weren't really any characters I cared that much about, which was a big problem for me. I could really care less about any of them. None of them were particularly likable. And that's super important to me. Our, quote, hero.
Right.
When it shows his past and he's in his original body.
Right.
He not only looks totally different, he seems totally different. He acts totally different.
Well, they were different actors. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why they were acting different.
That's why they acted. I was just saying that's because they were acting different.
It was unbelievable that it was that man's consciousness still. They were just too different.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't like, because I mean we've seen other movies before where if the person is a certain way, does certain acts or deeds, talks a certain way, it has a certain moral code, whatever. You like that person, you like that character. It's not going to matter if they're in somebody else's body. Did he go through a load of crap and get bitter through yeah, of course he did.
Bitter and cynical?
So, but it was just, I don't know. The flashbacks were better for me.
Okay.
I was a little more interested in that and the whole, the rebel group and the political structure, like all of that stuff I was super interested in, and I really enjoyed all of that.
Yeah, but at one
the
point
characters, I don't care. I don't care.
At one point you did say to me that you would rather watch The Punisher again, I think.
Yes! Man, where was The Punisher when all this was going on? He'd have fixed everything.
Anyhow.
No, but again, like you said, the world was great, the setting, the cyberpunk.
I don't know, you said something about looking like Xena special effects in a couple of spots.
Oh, no. No,
maybe
careful.
those were just the flying cars or something.
There were a few things in the first few episodes that just looked a little
less than
inexpensive.
Okay.
I don't know.
You didn't want to say cheap.
So I thought cheap. So I was thinking, oh no, please at least make me believe this. Don't make me think you're cutting corners. And I can't really say anything specific at this point.
Okay.
Because it improved.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just me or if every episode, like, if they just had a rocky start and found their groove and then started doing really awesome by the end.
Okay.
It was only 10 episodes. So
it was only 10 episodes. All right, well, that's fine.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do understand.
You saw it too, right?
Yeah, I'm sure I did.
Okay.
But I was willing to just go with
Some
it.
of the sets and stuff that were supposed to look very opulent and whatever, it looked like a kind of a cheesy set.
Kind of like what they used to do
But then, like the inside of the hotel,
yeah,
it was beautiful, and I believed it.
Okay.
So it was kind of
Yeah, I got you. Going back to such as like what was it? Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
How sometimes their fantasy sets
that was really
looked but that wasn't this bad. Anyhow, what was my point? So we'll get off this topic, but One last thing. It reminded me again how I've always said before, if you've listened to the podcast, you know this, but whatever. I've always said before that I enjoy the situational ethics, stories of that and so on, and I enjoy those type of things, but with the character that Joel, what's his name, Kinsman, I believe, Takashi Kovac. Okay. The character that he played, our main character.
The which version? The modern version?
The modern,
or the old?
either one, both or neither, both.
Okay. Both or neither? Neither one.
This whoever. The fact is, I find that while I do enjoy situational ethics and seeing how people react and things like that, I'm a really big fan of due process.
Yes.
Amoral character, like when I first learned this or realized this was actually watching, first of all reading and then watching Dexter, the series Dexter.
Yeah. And sure you want to go there?
Just briefly, just enough to say.
Hey, don't let me get on a roll here.
Anyhow.
Don't let me talk.
So, all I was going to say is a serial killer that kills serial killers. What could be better than that? I mean, it makes sense, right? He's somebody that's killing bad people. It's scary, it's like, but I realized then, watching and reading, that it's like, yeah, you know what? I still got to have due process.
It was annoying, wasn't it?
Yeah. So anyhow,
he's a freaking serial killer.
We'll leave it at that. Yeah, but he's killing just bad people, and they
I don't care.
Okay, we're not gonna go there.
Where's Rorschach? I'm sorry, no compromise. That's me. That's where I stand.
All right. So anyhow, to bring this back around,
give me Captain America. Give me Rorschach. Give me the Punisher. I'm sorry, you lose.
If you stuck with us this long, sorry. We'll bring it back around and tone it back in. But to answer your question, Al, I both liked and enjoyed it. It's not necessarily a series I would go back to watch again.
I know I wouldn't.
But I might. Now that I've been all the way through it and know what to expect, I might get more out of it at another watch. I wouldn't do it anytime soon, though. And as far as that goes, there's maybe some anime that I would watch instead. Ghost in a Shell, of course, but Black Magic 88. There's Akira. There's old anime and stuff that I would maybe watch. But it had that feel to it,
There's
too.
going to be a second season of this, right?
Is it? Yeah? Okay.
I think that was what we read.
And here's the other thing. I would definitely be interested, I think, in actually checking out the book. The book or the series of novels or whatever that's based on. That would be good. So maybe it was just...
Yeah, because I'm more interested in the meat of the thing. You know, like I said, the politics and
I believe this was this guy's first novel. Altered Carbon, I think, was like this guy's first novel and stuff. So it maybe has more from there. But
I was satisfied with how it ended. Probably the first 3/4 of it, I was just like, but towards the end, the story, as it was climaxing the last 2 or 3 episodes, I enjoyed that more.
Okay, well, see, that's what I was saying about this could have been shorted.
It's a love story. There's a love story in there, and he's going off to find his love, and I don't know where. So I would definitely be interested in seeing what's to come afterwards.
Okay, I gotcha.
And it does seem like all these other characters we've said goodbye to.
Okay.
So if he's going off on his own now, off onto another new adventure, I'm totally willing to check it out.
All right, well, there you go. I'm not sure if that's...
I can't go backwards, though, and watch that again.
One last thing. All right, one last thing. I keep trying to get off this subject and move on, but one last thing. This may have suffered a little bit of style over substance, much like Tron Legacy, because this was Netflix, and they got to show boobs.
Yeah.
Lots of boobs.
Yeah, we have to put as
got
much...
to see wieners.
Yes,
and
boobs and wieners and lots of sex. And, Yeah, a lot of times with the streaming services that are making their own shows now, yeah, because they can show anything they want.
Yeah.
A lot of times I do feel like they put too much of that in there.
Yeah, I didn't
and
have a problem
it's not
with
because
it.
I'm a square.
Exactly.
It's just the balance is wrong. It's in there for, like, a lot of times for no reason.
Yeah.
They come up with a reason why it's there.
Yeah.
But I want... Like you said, I need the substance.
It's all about the story. It should be all about the story. That should be the most engrossing thing about it.
Exactly.
All right. Fair enough. Al, maybe we told you too much about what we thought about it for everybody else.
Turned into an Altered Carbon review podcast.
Instead, yeah. So, sorry about that. I did appreciate that final sword. I could have swore that was the Highlander sword that he pulled off the wall back there. And I know I heard Vangelis in the music in the background on those final couple of scenes there. I swear that was like an ode or an homage to Blade Runner. This in so many ways or whatever. Anyhow, moving on. What do you got for us for Crawling Chaos?
I don't have anything.
Well, that's sad. I feel bad because, you said that was going to be a short topic anyhow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That thing you deleted and it's gone forever.
Those things, what is there, about 40 of them?
That was my short topic.
Yeah, all right.
I sifted through 40 of them to find about a dozen really good ones.
Yeah.
But now they're all gone, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter now. Well, at this point then, we're going to say thanks to anybody that stuck out to the end of the episode.
Oh, no Crawling Chaos,
No
really?
Crawling Chaos this week. But in the meantime...
That's really sad.
It's a little sad anyhow.
You haven't heard or read or seen anything interesting on...
Nope, because all I've done is Altered Carbon.
But what about on the computer? You didn't see any news stories or anything interesting that...
Nothing. No current issues or anything I want to talk about. Yeah. So
I can think of a few, but I don't have the...
You don't have it written in front of you?
Yeah, it would just sound stupid. It would be like the whole worm in the crack thing all over again. I was going to say...
Do you want to play the Crawling Chaos music? Do we have one after all?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's as bad as the worm living in the crack, though. But yeah, okay. Hit it. So
it's no fun if we have to force the segment, but anyhow, go ahead.
No, well, like I said, it's a creepy crawly one.
All right.
And it's something out of our life, not something we saw online. So our niece has these really awesome geckos, and I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah.
But they grow really giant.
Okay.
And they're very exotic and very pricey and whatever, and she loves them.
And that's your Crawling Chaos?
So she has one. No. Oh. So she has one that she's had. I have a picture of you holding him, actually, when he was little.
Okay.
You have a little baby snake curled up on the top of your head, and you're holding the gecko.
So it's getting chaotic, all right.
Remember that photo?
I do.
But anyway, so her cute little gecko grew up, and he is giant, and so she bought another one. She has another little baby one. So anyway, geckos, they eat a lot. They poop a lot.
Okay.
So their cages are dirty a lot.
Yeah.
So she threw a... What the heck is that?
I think this is a plane going overhead.
I thought it was your stomach.
No.
So anyway...
Is anybody still listening?
I think... Probably not. So through a breeder who does exotic reptiles, I think that's who she heard about it from, or from a friend who keeps exotic reptiles. There's a little isopod, which is like a roly-poly.
Okay.
But they're tiny, though. They're like mini isopods, and they're white.
Yeah.
They're teeny tiny. They eat poop. So you get yourself some, and you put them in your reptile's tank, and they're a little cleanup crew.
So this really is a crappy Crawling Chaos.
It's very crap. No, it's an anti-crappy. They'll clean up the crap.
What do they eat? Do they poop oxygen? What do they do? It's like there's going to be bug poop in there now.
I don't know. Maybe it just fertilizes. But they're so tiny. I don't know. But she sent me a video and a picture of them all crowded onto onto the stuff.
Oh, the stuff.
And they just totally disassemble it. She said it takes them a while, but they take care of the whole entire thing and there's nothing left behind. And they eat molds, so they totally
Wow, that really is crazy.
Yeah, so if you have lizards or geckos, I used to keep lizards, and almost nothing smells worse than a lizard. It's because of what they eat, so their poop is just a nightmare, and it's hard to clean that stuff up. So anyway, yeah, little mini isopods.
All right,
Throw them in there, and they'll clean it up for you.
Here's the thing. All right, so here's where we bring it back around to the podcast.
You don't like my crawling chaos?
It's awesome. It's great. And you can find out more. For those who want to know, you can find more by going and checking out our show notes.
Yeah.
You can find us on Facebook, Podomatic, just about anywhere. Podomatic, where the notes are going to be and stuff. You can find us on Facebook. You can get in contact with me by emailing us directly at Mad Saxon, or me directly, Mad Saxon, MADSAXXON at yahoo.net. Look us up on Facebook, VICISINTERIMO, or just friend me, S. Michael Jones. I think we killed it.
I think we did.
This is a crappy episode.
Yeah, and if you'd like a picture for this week's artwork, I have a picture of a gecko poop with isopods all over it.
It's awesome. That's exactly what everybody wants to see.
Yeah.
My milkshake is dead. All of our favorite foods are totally dead. They cannot procreate in little food beds. We'll eat them up and turn them into stuff. And we'll cry over their graves, but you can't cry enough. When you miss someone you love, you can't cry enough.